Hey, what's up, y'all? I wanted to hop back on here and shoot another video because it's been a while. Life's been pretty busy and I'm getting ready to travel and I probably won't shoot another one for a while. So I wanted to get one in while I still can. And today I wanted to talk about how recovery is a non-linear process. I know when I first got clean, I thought that I would get sober, I would stop using substances and drinking alcohol, and that things would be perfect, but people don't talk about all the ups and downs that come with recovery. You can't expect recovery to be perfect all the time. You know, there's going to be a lot of ups and downs with your mood, with life. No matter what, there's still going to be problems that are headed your way, and you have to be prepared to deal with it. And if it's your first time trying to get clean, you may have some slip-ups, you may have some relapses. I know before I got clean for good, I probably had dozens of relapses, anywhere from 20 to 35, somewhere in that neighborhood. But the thing is to just keep at it and keep trying again and again no matter what. Because you know in your heart, if you get clean, you're gonna give yourself a better life. So as you're going through this, always keep that mindset that a life of being clean is gonna be a lot better. Even when you slip up, just know that you can hop back on the recovery wagon the next day. So if you fuck up, get back to it. Sometimes life will throw some crazy situations your way. You don't have a lot of clean time yet, and you may fuck up. I know a lot of times when I first started getting clean, I'd be clean during the week and I'd be fine, and then the weekend would come and then I'd go to the liquor store or I'd get a bag of Kratom and I'd fuck up and I'd feel guilty, but I kept trying until it worked. If and when you do slip up early on, don't look at yourself as a failure. Just try to learn and see what things triggered you so you can know in the future to avoid those things. A lot of times, persons, places, and things will be big triggers. So a certain friend group, or certain locations, or a place where you used to score drugs, or a place where you used to drink a lot. Maybe you should avoid that early on in recovery until you're more solid in your sobriety. A lot of times there would be a lot of shame and guilt whenever I relapsed, and try to use that and turn that into more of a positive momentum. So if you fuck up, use that, analyze what you did, how things went wrong, and how you can avoid that in the future, and just get right back to it. And even if it happens once, just keep at it, because eventually it will stick. So bottom line, if you're still hanging around people and places that make you want to use, cut that shit out ASAP. I know a lot of people may feel bad if they're cutting out some of their old friend groups, but you really got to look at the bigger picture in life. A lot of those people will bring you down, whether they're your old drinking buddies or whether you used to do coke with them or smoke weed all the time with them. At the end of the day, you got to do what's best for you. Life is short, and you want to try to navigate this as best as possible. Doesn't mean you can't talk to them, doesn't mean you can't hang out with them under a certain context, but if you're just hanging around them and they're using, you're in some trap house or you're partying like you used to, it's like, nah, you can't be around those people in those kind of situations. So cut that shit out. I once heard this motivational speaker say, "Show me your friends and I'll show you your future." And that rings really true. Crab in the pot mentality is a real thing. So there's a lot of people out there with the mindset, if I can't have it, neither can you. And they're ruled by jealousy, anger, greed, and they just don't want to see other people be successful. Do you really want those people in your life? Some people hate seeing others be successful in life because they're jealous and they try to bring you down out of envy and spite. Fuck those losers. Learn what your triggers are. There's a lot of things that can set you off, especially early on. I'm coming up on 14 months clean right now, and there's still things that set me off occasionally. It doesn't happen as often nowadays, but it still happens sometimes. I actually was triggered the other day to drink, and it was because I was setting up a date, and I haven't been on a date with a new woman in years. The only women I've been with recently have been ex-girlfriends or someone I've had a previous history with before. So this was kind of a big deal for me, putting myself out there. Now, I'm totally happy being single. I love the freedom that comes with it. I love the peace that comes with being single and doing what I want when I want. So, and also, I'm very picky with dating. I'll only date certain types, and they gotta be a fucking savage. Like, if you're not a good fit for me, I'd rather be alone. But I put myself out there, and all of a sudden this girl flaked at the last second. And she seems cool, and I didn't really understand why she flaked, but she just told me she wasn't ready yet. Come to find out, she just got out of a relationship like 2 weeks ago. As soon as she flaked, I wanted the drink, and it wasn't until I slept on it and found out through someone else that, hey, she literally just got out of a relationship. So it's not anything that you did. So a lot of times us addicts, we can be really selfish. We can think that the world revolves around us. It's not always about us. A lot of times there's other circumstances out there. So I'm glad I didn't give in over something so stupid. When I did feel like drinking, I immediately called a buddy, hung out with him, and I also hopped on a Zoom meeting. I slept on it, and I was totally better the next day. I felt 100%, but I was like this close to giving in. In the back of your mind, that addict mentality is just like you're dealing with feelings, and for years and years we're just not used to dealing with them. We're just so used to pouring liquor on top of them just to smash those feelings away. But that's not the best way to navigate through life. It's not productive, especially if alcohol and substances are causing you problems in life. You know you're making progress in your recovery when you shift your mindset from it's all about me to what is best for me and how can I help others. Shifting from a mindset of lying and manipulation to honesty, open-mindedness, and willingness. I know many of us have had issues with anxiety and depression, and a lot of times feeling sorry for yourself or wallowing in self-pity is unproductive. Instead of being in that negative mind state, you can learn to forgive others and forgive yourself and try to turn negative situations into a positive one. How can you reconnect healthy relationships? What can you do to better yourself in that situation? So instead of just being negative and saying fuck life and all that, yeah, don't do that. That's some weak shit. So try to be stronger and take it into a more positive direction. A huge thing I recommend in early recovery and just life in general is getting new hobbies. Put yourself out there. For many of us, getting fucked up was a full-time job, and that's all we did. So when we get clean, we kind of need to replace that kind of void with something more positive that's good for us. For example, I love hiking, target shooting, collecting things, working out. I just like being outdoors a lot, fishing, even playing with Legos. And some people think that playing with Legos is stupid, but hey, I'd rather build a Death Star than get fucked up and have to apologize to people every weekend. Also have some kind of a support system and some other kind of coping mechanisms, because it's not easy to go through this shit. For me, I do a 12-step group. There's also other options out there like Smart Recovery, Refuge Recovery, that's the Buddhist one. There's a bunch of online groups out there. So whatever seems to be a good fit for you. I didn't think that 12-step groups would be for me, but out of all the things I've tried, it seems to be the most beneficial for me. So I'm sticking with that. And also, you don't always have to be productive either. I know we live in such a hustle culture where everyone just wants to get things done and show things off, but you can allow yourself some self-care days too. And sometimes you just gotta say, fuck it. Like one of my coping mechanisms, it may not be the healthiest, but hey, it works for me. I will crush like an entire fucking extra large pizza in like one sitting. It's not the healthiest thing, but if I'm having a bad day and it's like a Thursday and I feel like shit, instead of drinking or scoring a bag of dope, well, guess what? I'll hit up Papa John's and I'll crush a whole fucking pizza, and it's awesome. And then I'll binge watch Kung Fu movies all day. Some people may look at that as not productive, but hey, it keeps me clean, and I only do it once in a while. So I look at it as kind of a little treat. You gotta give yourself those days off where you just look out for yourself and you don't give a fuck about whatever is going on in the world. And the world's pretty fucking crazy right now, so it's probably good for everyone's mental health to just look out for you and just do whatever the fuck you want to do, period. If you're new to recovery, try to stay busy, especially if you're in like the first month or two, especially on the weekends. Like for me, a big problem was when Friday and Saturday would come up. That's when I would always hit up the liquor store. That's when I would always give in and relapse. So change your situation. Try to be around family. Try to be around friends that are supportive. Try to do activities. Try to pick up a new hobby. Like when I first got clean, I joined a boxing gym. So every Friday night I was going to class, I was working out. You can't show up fucked up, you know? So I signed up and made sure that I was accountable and did what I had to do. And it helped keep me clean, I gotta say that. What works for one person may not work for everyone. So you have to find out what activities and habits are best for you. And it's best to learn that through trial and error. And like I've said, you're gonna have good days and you're gonna have bad days. That's what life is. But if you face it head on, you're more equipped to deal with things. Going through life sober, I actually call that raw dogging reality. And it's not for everyone. A lot of people think you're crazy if you don't drink or don't use substances, but it's like, I'm sorry, my life goes to shit when I use substances. So I'm just not interested in doing that kind of shit anymore. It's not for me. The only person responsible for getting clean is you. There's no easy way to do it. There's no magic pill to take. You just have to show up, put in work one day at a time, and keep at it. I do have to say one positive thing about staying clean is that the longer that you do it, the easier that it gets. The less temptations come up, the less thoughts of relapse come up. I'll find myself in environments where a lot of people are drinking around me in public, at events and venues, and it doesn't bother me at all nowadays. In fact, you'd be surprised, there's a lot of other clean people out there that you would have never known unless you talked about it with them. And if you're a chronic relapser, be sure to tell on yourself. Like, tell your friends, tell your family, and reach out for additional support. Because what you're doing right now, if you're chronically relapsing, it's obviously not working, so you need to make some kind of a change and implement that. I didn't want to make this video too long. I just wanted to hop back on and say hi, because it'll probably be a little while before I make another one. So I just wanted to say that don't expect recovery to be perfect. There's ups and downs, but just always maintain that mindset that this is something that you need to do to be a better person. And if you relapse here and there for a while in the beginning, that's fine. But as long as you hop back on the train and you keep trying to be good, that's what's up. You know, there's always another opportunity tomorrow. So stick with it, because eventually it's going to stick and you can get clean. If I can do it, you can do it. Like, trust me, I had 20 years of substance use and alcohol use, and I never thought that I'd be clean. But here I am. I'm clean, and I'm making fucking YouTube videos about it, of all things. I never thought I'd do that either. So just stick with it, because it's worth it. If substances are fucking up your life, it's going to continue fucking up your life. I just hope a lot of you are able to do this and get clean out there. And I can't stress enough, reach out for additional support. Even though you don't want to do it, you don't feel like doing it, fucking do it. And I just wanted to thank you all for watching. I hope you all are doing good out there, that y'all are putting in work, trying to get clean. And if you want to talk about something or have a question, I'll respond to you in the comments. It may take a couple days, but I'll get to you eventually. So hope everybody's doing okay out there, and I'll be sure to make another video soon. Peace out.